all of the kids from my town disappeared into the dark. And you know why? I'm gonna tell you now.
Weapons. Rated R.
Galax, ¿cómo te guste?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another one of my live streams. This is the 8th one. I wasn't live yesterday because I was in a hotel, but I do want to talk about stuff. So basically, for some reason, Google Play isn't on my computer now. I updated my Chromebook, and it just wasn't there for some reason. So yeah, so basically how I am. I don't have any games on my Chromebook for some reason. So yeah.
What's all this talk about political correctness? The F word? What F word? You mean to tell them when someone tells you that they're a femboy, you don't think to call them a filthy self-driving cars? Why, that's a fabulous idea. Finally, a way to get these women off the road, eh? I really thought there'd be no more brown people by now. Well, Martha, I think my new favorite color is spandex. Hey, I'm kidding. A furry convention? Oh boy, why, Martha, I bet that's some sort of a pet adoption thing. We ought to go check it out. Oh my God, where's an atom bomb when you need one, Martha? You people are all going to hell for this, I tell you. JFK does win the presidency? Why, that's terrific. Why, I bet he's a strong leader, but very open-minded as well, correct? More than open-minded, but it's even better. Why, that furry convention was just terrific. Why, I haven't seen that much since Old Uncle Adolf was taking Bagels back in 1942. I tell you, God damn it, you had a Negro president in 2008? Did he change the national bird to a fried chicken? Excuse me, miss, but can I ask why you, little 5'2", about 350 pounds, decided it was a good idea for you to wear spandex leggings? Why, they look like they're holding back more than the Hoover Dam. I always thought communism was our biggest threat. Turns out it was the civil rights movement. All these men, why, they've gone so soft, letting their wives or their girlfriends control their lives. Why, back in my day, we used to put women in their place. That's what we did. If I woke up and I found one wrinkle in my underwear, I would iron out the wrinkles on Martha's face. $10 for a pack of cigarettes now, Martha.
Here we return in GTA 6 from GTA 5. And in my opinion, I feel like it's going to be good old TV. anything happen with Trump today or yesterday? He's almost 80 years old. With just social media was Trump's golf game. And also, so let me switch up something. Not a lot of stuff in the social media news.
When I was in college, I used to house sit for a family for a few years when they would go on their annual family vacations. I've had a handful of other scary, creepy experiences, but the one I want to talk about today was the one that forced me to quit house sitting for them. I was in my 20s and was trying to make ends meet. House sitting was one of the many side hustles I had. The family would be going on a 2-week vacation abroad and wouldn't have any service. So if anything went wrong, I would have to call the police or their relatives, depending on the situation. Please keep in mind, I've already had a few creepy experiences with their house prior to this, but it was never scary enough to deter me because they paid me very well. I used to work at an animal shelter, so I was well versed in animal care, and I knew about cat behavior. This family had 4 cats who were all very well behaved. The first few days, all was well. I slept in the guest bedroom and went to school from their house because they lived close enough to where I could just walk to class and didn't have to pay for parking or bring lunch since I could just go back to their place. The issues began after a few days. My boyfriend at the time came over with dinner to keep me company, as he knew I was always a bit creeped out by the house. He sat in the guest bedroom and watched TV for a few hours eating, until he said he needed to go home. Sometimes he'd sleep over, and he told me on this particular night that he had a strong gut feeling he needed to sleep at home. He urged me to go home because that gut feeling he had was really bad. At that point, it was around midnight, and to be honest, I didn't want to go home. To put it bluntly, I have a complicated home life that didn't get along with my parents. The only time I'd get a break from home was the annual house sitting once a year, and I didn't feel like wasting it. My only sibling, who's also my best friend, moved out due to the toxicity, and honestly, home wasn't home without them anymore. I told him that I'll be fine, and I'll lock up after he left. He was still really uneasy, and tried to persuade me to go home once again. He tried to explain that while he had slept over before, for some reason tonight the house just felt unsettling. I thought it was because the house was over a century old, but it was just renovated, so I felt better about it. I reminded him that there was a home security alarm that I always set. The neighborhood was safe, and I had 4 friendly cats with me. He reluctantly left and drove home. And that was when it started happening. I shut all the doors and windows, locked everything, and set the security alarm. Once I got comfortable in bed, the TV started to turn on by itself. We were just using the TV, so I thought I accidentally sat on the remote. I saw the remote on the nightstand. I quickly turned it off. Just as it went off, it turned back on. I thought it was strange since the TV was working perfectly the entire night, but it was even stranger that when the TV turned on by itself, it went to this off channel, like it was just black and white, like it had no signal. So I kept turning it off, and it kept turning on. I began to freak out and unplug the TV entirely. Even though I'd had creepy experiences before in this house, this one had never happened before. I told myself that the house was just renovated. Maybe there were some wiring issues. I still didn't go home and went and slept on the couch instead. The next day, my boyfriend came over again. I told him about what happened the night before, and he told me that I should have just went home. I was pretty freaked out, but honestly, it was still not as bad as having to deal with my family. That night, we had dinner together again and watched a movie in the living room. For this next part, I do have to explain the house structure. The house is 2 floors. There's the first floor where you come in through the front door straight into the living room, and the second floor is actually the basement, which is essentially a big living room with another room that can be used as a spare bedroom. The stairs leading downstairs are incredibly creaky and creepy. I don't understand why they didn't fix it during the renovation. As for the cats, they love to be everywhere and anywhere. They all have the personality where they wanted to be around you, but not necessarily held or cuddled. They were all pretty calm cats that liked quieter environments. Of the 4 cats, there was one cat that was the youngest at around 3 years old. He was just a bit smaller than the other 3. That night, as we watched the movies, my blood ran cold, as I heard sounds from the basement that sounded like an infant crying. My boyfriend froze as he slowly turned to look at me, as if signaling to me silently if I heard it too. I remembered from my time working in the animal shelter during my training that sometimes cats sound like babies, especially if they're in duress. As I mentioned earlier, the cats like to be around people and will follow you around the house, but not close enough to cuddle. I counted, and only counted 3. The little younger cat was missing. I figured it must be the younger cat, and went downstairs to the basement, where I found it stuck in the spare room. He was smaller, but more energetic than the other cats. He somehow closed the door behind him and was stuck in the room all alone. I carried him up the stairs, and we resumed the movie. Mid-movie, we did pause it as it was time to feed the cats. The owners had a strict food schedule for their cats. The cats' food station was in the kitchen, and the kitchen was the only area that connected to the basement. To best explain the layout of the house, the main entrance connects to the living room. The living room then diverges into 2 different sections. One connects to the kitchen, and the other connects to 3 bedrooms. One being the spare bedroom, a master bedroom, and another bedroom that belongs to the family's child, with the living room being connected to the kitchen as well. The kitchen was the connecting area, where you must enter it to go to the basement or living room. For these cats, the only time that they didn't want to be around humans was while they were eating and after they ate, as they like to take naps or rest with their full bellies. They like to nap in the master bedroom or the teenager's room, as it smells like their family. They always did this every year that I babysat them, so it wasn't new. It also wasn't unusual to not see them for a little bit after mealtime. We finished our movie and went into the kitchen, void of any cats. As we were enjoying dinner, we both once again heard crying noises from the basement. It was naturally louder because we were in the kitchen, which was closer to the basement. I didn't see any cats in the kitchen, and I didn't think to check the living room because I was panicking internally. My boyfriend was visibly creeped out, and I told him I'd check it out since it was likely the cat again. I couldn't help but notice that the cry sounded a little different from earlier. It was more frequent and higher pitched. I turned on the lights to the basement, slowly crept down the stairs, saying the cat's name. With each step, the crying got louder, but when I finally made it down, the crying abruptly stopped. I checked the spare room, any crevices, and under the couch. He was nowhere. At that point, I was feeling so scared, I could hear my heartbeat in my head. I don't even go on regular walks, I definitely don't jog, and I absolutely don't run. But I ran up those stairs like my life depended on it. When I got back into the kitchen, I felt my whole body go cold as my heart sank. My boyfriend was standing in the kitchen with a horrid look on his face, as all 4 cats surrounded him. He told me that as I went down the stairs to the crying noises, the 4 cats came out at the same time from the area where the bedrooms were. No cat had been downstairs the entire time. I immediately and silently packed up my items, jammed it into my backpack, and we both left the house. For the remaining week, I would only return to the house once a day to clean the litter box and feed them. I know I was going against their eating schedule, but at that point, I really didn't care. After the last day, I locked up, dropped the keys into their hiding spot, thanked them for the opportunity, but that it was my last time, and I never returned. I hated that house. Looking back, the experiences I had each year seemed like it was escalating. I should have stopped much sooner. I still remember calling my sibling during the drive to my parents' house after the incident. It felt even worse when they revealed that they also had their own experience in that house and kept it away from me because they knew I was trying to save money to move out. They didn't want to scare me. I'll start off with descriptions of all of those involved. My name is Kelsey. I was 17 years old at the time of this event. I'm 5'3". My friend Haley's 5'8". My friend Sammy is 5'7". It was March 19th, 2016. I was dog sitting at my mom's friend's house for some extra cash to help me out before going off to college next year. It was a cool spring night. The people I was dog sitting for have a super cool sunroom where my friends and I like to smoke. So I decided to invite two of my other friends over to spend the night and make this whole dog sitting thing more fun. Haley and Sammy were a little older, Haley being 23 and Sammy being 22. They brought over some vodka for us to drink. We hung out for a couple hours, drinking, smoking, laughing, and catching on. Then we started to get a bunch of phone calls. Now normally this would not be weird, except for the fact that the phone was supposed to be disconnected. We ignore the first couple phone calls, thinking they'll leave a message or a call back in the morning. As it was nearly midnight, the calls were persistent, and we could tell this person was not going to leave us alone until we answered. Sammy decided to answer the phone, and there was a man on the line, claiming to have the owner's wallet at a gas station 25 minutes from the house, which did not make sense. This man insisted that we come pick up the wallet now, which we all found extremely odd. After minutes of this man insisting that it was urgent that we come pick up the wallet, Sammy finally got the man to understand that we were not leaving the house and that we'll get it in the morning. We hung up the phone and all got a weird feeling in our stomachs. Grabbed the dog, Willis, run into the back bedroom, shut all the blinds, and lock the door. We already have impaired judgment because of the weed and booze. We talked things out, and we decided we were just being paranoid. The man was just trying to make sure we get the wallet back to the owner safely. Hours go by, of us drinking and smoking some more. Then we decide to watch a funny movie and make some food to calm down and get ready for bed that night. We move from the sunroom to the living room and pop in a DVD. The sunroom is located in between the kitchen and living room of the house and the backyard by the pool. The door in between the pool and the sunroom does not have a lock on it, but the door that's in between the kitchen living room and the sunroom does not have a dog door for Willis to go out back to go to the bathroom. So we all agreed that, although we were a little spooked by the phone call, we were in a safe neighborhood, and Willis would bark if anything were to come to the door. Time creeps by. We were laughing on the couches, Haley and I sitting next to each other on one, and Sammy across the room on the other. The clock struck 3 a.m., and that's when things started to get creepy. Remember earlier how we left the lockable door open to the sunroom so that Willis could get outside to pee? That's where he entered from. I'm fully immersed in the comedy. Do you ever get that unexplainable feeling that you're being watched by somebody? That feeling suddenly became overpowering. I turn towards the kitchen and see a dark mass hunched over in the kitchen. I freeze and for a second think I'm seeing things. I watch as this mass reaches up into the cabinet, and that's when I realize there's someone in the house. I nudge Haley's side with my elbow and say real quietly, "Haley, I think there's somebody in the house." She looks into the kitchen and screams bloody murder. This dark mass then whips his head around and looks directly at me. We make eye contact, and I felt my entire body tense up. All I could see were his piercing blue eyes contrasting against the orange lamp just below the cabinet on the table. Everything else was covered by his black hoodie, pants, shoes, and gloves. He even wore a ski mask that covered up to his nose and mouth. Sammy then gets up to look at what Haley and I are staring at, and somehow musters up the courage to yell, "Get the fuck out." He calmly closes the cabinet and slowly walks out the sunroom doors. We immediately get up and rush to the corner of the room farthest from where he was crouching and call 911. We arrive 3 minutes later and search the entire apartment, take our statements, and sit outside the house for the rest of the night to see if the intruder would come back. The three of us did not stick around long enough to see if he would. We leave our booze, weed, and my car all at the house with the cops and the dog and head home. We come back the next day to find clothes all throughout the house messed with, and crumbs by the doggy door, understandably so Willis wouldn't bark at whoever came in. To this day, we still have no idea who called us and or who came into that house. I have not been back since. I'm 28 years old. I've been an animal lover ever since I was a child, which led to me pursuing a career path that had to do with animals. I'm a veterinary assistant, but For a while, I also had a little side gig in which I'd offer to house sit animals for people going away on vacation and such. This ranged from cats to dogs to birds. I'd actually house sat entire weekends a few times for people who presumably didn't have any family available to watch them. Being a young female who also already works at a veterinary hospital, most people weren't intimidated by the idea of me staying in their house while they're gone. I wasn't just some random person off the street. My credentials were all over the internet. I got a response to my ad one day from a man named Jeremy seeking my services. He had a 20-something-year-old macaw and a cat that he needed to have watched for a weekend while he went away. He brought up the price right away and offered me $300 for the entire weekend. I accepted that offer because that was a fair deal. I have experience dealing with birds of all types, including macaws, but this would be my first time I'd ever watched one for an entire weekend. I met Jeremy at his house. It was a basic, normal corner house for the neighborhood. He was a short man in his late 50s, if I had to guess. He had graying hair and a graying mustache. He seemed very friendly. In my experience, most animal lovers are. After meeting Jeremy, I met his bird Ringo and his cat Casper. Ringo was huge. I've handled macaws in the past, which I assumed was part of the reason Jeremy hired me. He told me about Ringo's personality and quirks, and how to get him to quiet down if he makes noises. Ringo kept saying Daddy's home as Jeremy would handle him. He laughed and said that's what he says when he sees him. Ringo said a few other phrases along with that, all of them 2 or 3 word phrases. After showing me how to clean the cage and everything like that, he showed me the rest of the house. He told me how often to feed Casper. He asked that I don't go into any other bedrooms upstairs besides the guest bedroom where I was sleeping, which was understandable. There was a bathroom upstairs right next to the bedroom. He told me I could help myself to his food. However, on the weekends, I brought my own food for the weekend. After all this and him getting to know me a bit, he gave me the key to the house and left. I watched through the window as he drove off, and I was left alone with Ringo and Casper. It was already late in the day at this point, like 8 p.m. It was dark out. There wasn't much left to do that night. Casper was already fed. Jeremy already left enough food in Ringo's cage for the night. The cage was in the living room in the center of the house, right next to the TV. So I turned on the TV and plopped down on the couch. Casper was hiding somewhere in the house out of sight. Ringo was just sitting in the cage watching me. After a couple of hours of watching TV and eating my little dinner, I went to bed. No reason to stay up super late. I slept with the bedroom door open. I woke up in the middle of the night to a sound. The best way I could describe it was 2 loud cracking sounds. I sat up and listened for a second. Nothing. So I lay back down and went back to sleep. There was a giant bird in the cage downstairs. Hearing sounds was not unexpected. The next day was pretty easy. I cleaned up Casper's litter box, fed him, and fed Ringo. I let Ringo out to play for a couple of hours. He perched on the back of the couch behind me as I watched TV. Jeremy told me that Casper and Ringo typically ignore each other, so I wouldn't have to worry about one attacking the other. Fast forward a few hours, and I left the house to go explore the area a little bit. I went for a walk in the park, FaceTimed a couple of my friends. I did a little driving around too, and picked up some food for dinner that night before returning to the house. It was around 7 o'clock when I returned. I interacted with the pets for a couple of hours as I ate my dinner and watched TV. Jeremy was supposed to be returning home late tomorrow. I called it a night early again. I went to sleep with the door open again. However, once again, I woke up to a sound. This time, I believe it was the sound of the bedroom door closing. I looked up and saw that the bedroom door was now closed. While the windows were open, there was little to no wind to create a draft. This was weird. I also could hear sounds from downstairs. It sounded like Ringo moving.
at Southern New Hampshire University.
It's possible to raise a family, to pursue other things, and still further your education.
And you can do it too, from all over the country.
I live in Massachusetts.
I live in Texas.
I live in California.
I live in Pennsylvania.
I'm from Florida.
I'm from Virginia.
In North Carolina and St. Louis.
I'm from Tennessee.
And I'm from Georgia.
Regardless of where you live across the country. Earn your degree at SNHU.
Visit smhu.edu.
Over the years, the most dedicated GTA fans have unearthed some pretty incredible beta and alpha content for GTA 5. By scouring online portfolios of Rockstar employees, digging deep into the game files, and even examining leaks, these fans have uncovered images and details that show a version of GTA 5 far closer to GTA 4 in both art style and design. A massive shout out to GTA expert and Noru122 for some awesome before and after screenshots I've used in today's video. We're going to be also adding a mod in today's video that adds some of these features back. So as we can see here, this is clearly a design yet in terms of its art direction. There's even parts of the map that are still missing in this area here. And the colouring looks a lot more dull than GTA 4, but I would also argue that this looks a lot warmer than what we have in the final version, as you can see from this screenshot. There's also this beta screenshot here, which is an advertisement for this 4x4, and you can see the city beta in the background there. I would also argue that the city in this screenshot also looks a bit warmer and just more bright in general. Places like this garage near Grove Street are completely transformed. In the final game it's now red, but also notice how the colour here looks a lot sunnier and warm. But also the palm trees in the final version of the game are now missing, which is a
we need to have a cheat now. Does anybody know how to use yoga? Okay. For those of you that don't know, I was live literally 2 hours ago. I was live 2 hours ago for 9 minutes. And you might be asking yourself, Joe, why were you live for 9 minutes? Because my Wi-Fi provider sucks. It crashes once a week. I have the most expensive Wi-Fi that I could possibly get. Let me tell you why my Wi-Fi provider is terrible. It is not even just mine. It's every Wi-Fi provider, and their customer service is probably the worst piece of thing I've ever had in my entire life.
Mr. Joe Bartolozzi, you look so different Twitch debugging.
What? My Wi-Fi speed is supposed to be better. My Wi-Fi speed is supposed to be 1,200 downloads and 35 to 40 uploads. That's what they promised. All right? That's good. That's good for stream. Download fantastic. Upload is but upload speed is hard to get in the US because the US doesn't care about upload speed because everybody only cares about streaming Netflix. All that is on download speed. Your phone uses download speed. Nothing uses upload speed, right? Except streaming. Except my job. Except uploading YouTube videos, uploading videos, uploading streaming, playing video games, using your bitrate. That's all upload speed. Upload speed matters for your board. All right? And when I stream 6 days a week. Sometimes 7, but usually 6. Once per week, my Wi-Fi fucking crashes. Now, my Wi-Fi doesn't turn off. My download speed doesn't go anywhere. My download speed stays around 1,000. My upload speed goes from 35 to 40 to fucking 2 megabits per second. To put that in perspective, I stream at 8,000 bitrate. Your boy streams at 8,000 bitrate. 8,000 bitrate correlates to 8 megabits per second. My upload speed is 2 megabits per second. I stream at 8,000 bitrate, which correlates to 8 megabits per second. If you have a 2 megabits per second upload speed, you can't stream in 8,000 bitrate. You only can stream in 2,000 bitrate at. When my Wi-Fi crashes, my upload speed goes from 35 megabits per second to 2 megabits per second. I can't stream in 8,000 bitrate. My stream will crash to around 50 bitrate or fucking 500 bitrate, and I look like a fucking Roblox character. If I fucking ever post this on YouTube, my editors can fucking put in a clip where I look like a fucking pixelated fuck when my Wi-Fi crashes. Then I start streaming my head off, I almost lose my voice, and I get scream. I restart my router. That doesn't work. I unplug it from the wall. That doesn't work. I reset my PC. That doesn't work. I unplug my Ethernet cord. That doesn't work. That's when your voice starts going, and I start punching shit. I start punching shit, all right? I start getting mad fast. I get fucking pissed. I ring up the people. I call customer service, all right? You sit on the fucking customer service line for 10 fucking minutes speaking to a goddamn robot. And I'm losing my mind the entire time because they don't understand you. They say, would you like to talk about Wi-Fi speed? I say, yes. And in return, they say, sorry, I didn't get that. Would you like to speak about Wi-Fi speed? I say yes. But I say, I'm pissed, so I'm saying yes before they get out the full sentence, so then it resets the sentence. And then I'm sitting there answering the same fucking question 48 times in a row. Then they finally put me on the line with some stupid problem that has no idea. They literally read you a line. And I start, so when I'm pissed and I'm sorry, I fucking yell to the fucking customer service person. But they're fucking assholes. I understand they're doing a job and they're not getting paid much for that job, but they're dickheads. They're all fucking dickheads that work for fucking Wi-Fi companies. Not all of them, but the ones that are customer service people are fucking assholes. All right? And I'm on the phone with them, and I'm like, yeah, my upload speed is to the shit. I'm explaining to them. I'm like, my job is streaming, which requires big things. Your boy is at 2 megabits per second upload. I can't stream unless you want to watch me looking like a Roblox character. And they're like, and the reason I know they're not listening to me is because they repeat the same fucking sentence 38 times in a row. They repeat them. I'm sorry, sir. I get what you're saying. It really is disappointing that your Wi-Fi speed is not at its current capability. We will promise that we will try. And I interrupt her. She says it about 5 times in a row after I start ranting, and I'm like, I literally say this. I say, if you say the same sentence again, I'm going to start losing my fucking mind. Talk to me like a person. I understand you have something in front of you. I'm like, I don't care that my average speed is fine. My Wi-Fi crashes every fucking week. I can't stream every day. I'm losing money. I can't do my job. And I'm like, do you get that? She says, yes. And I'm like, okay, how did you help me? Well, I ran this test. Did you restart your router? I already restarted my fucking router. I don't say it like that, but I said it nice. But I wanted to say it. And then she said, you have to test the router speed. You can't test it on your phone. And I say, lady, I just tested it on my PC, which is hooked up to my fucking router, and I tested the router. It says 2 megabits per second. You're staring at my fucking Wi-Fi right now. Can you read that? And she says yes. Then I say, why the fuck did you just tell me that I have to test it on my fucking router? Have I already told you that I just tested it on my fucking router? Can you not understand me? Like, what fucking happened? And she's like, I'm sorry, sir. I understand. She goes back to that sentence because she understands that I'm getting mad. So she goes back to that cookie cutter shit where they don't get fucking sued. I understand your problem. I can relate because I work. Oh my fucking god! So then I just get mad. I get so mad that I say, can I speak to your supervisor? I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I said that. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. Can I speak to your supervisor? I was like, I'm not mad at you. I said this. They said, no, literally, Johnny underscore said, quote unquote, did you unplug it and plug it back in? They, for word asked me if I did that. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, dude, I said this to the lady. I was like, I need to speak to your supervisor. This is my 3rd time calling you in the last 3 weeks. They sent people to my house twice. They gave me a new router twice, and it's still in the fucking shit. And she was like, well, and she starts stuttering. She's not reading her fucking cookie cutter shit anymore. She's not reading her fucking paragraph because she's not used to your boy slinging things at her that she doesn't understand. So I'm fucking mad. I'm like, give me your fucking supervisor. And she's like, he has the same equipment as me. If he's not gonna be able to help me. That's what she said. She said, he has the same equipment as me. He's not gonna be able to help me. I said, I don't care. Give me your supervisor. She puts me on hold for 10 minutes. She comes back. He's busy. Can he call you back in an hour? I say, no. Leave me on hold for an hour. She's like, we can't do that. And I said, okay. Give me your full fucking name and give me the ticket of the call. If your fucking little bitch-ass supervisor doesn't call me back in 1 hour, I will call your ass and start screaming. And she goes, okay. And she gives me all the information. And she's like, have a nice day. And I can tell she's bald because I'm fucking pissed. I made her mad. I ruined her fucking day because she didn't want to help me. I don't give a shit. She didn't fucking help me. Her fucking fault. I understand. Okay. And people are gonna get mad at me and be like, Joe, you gotta realize that they're like minimum wage workers. They don't want to help you. Like they don't know what they're doing. Okay, but they don't try to help me. They say the same fucking sentence 5 times in a row back to me because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. It pisses me off. And I'm telling them, I'm like, I've done this 5 fucking times. You gotta help me. I can't fucking stream in 2K bitrate because I look like a fucking Roblox character. And she's like, okay. You know, I'm pissed. I'm like, I'm gonna eat dinner. I start eating some corn. I start eating some chicken. What else did I have? Onion. I have those are fun. I eat all topics. Onion rings are amazing. They brighten my taste.
Look at that hottie. The Takis Fuego meal. Wendy's spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis chips and Fuego fries inspired by Takis. So Takis fans, you're welcome. And new Takis fans, good luck. For an intense new take on Takis, gotta be Wendy's.
New era. Nothing beats real.
When you're starting out with your finances, you want to see your money grow. Credit Karma can help you improve a low score and gives you tools to manage your spending and savings, so your financial success can continue to bloom. Into a Credit Karma.
5 ways to use those unexpected card combos. First, the log. Rolling in style, flattening an entire skeleton arm.
He called me mid audio, right? And I'm talking. His name's Sal. He's like, hey, and he's so quiet. It sounds like he's this hard. It sounds like he's like 8 miles. And I'm like, I have it on speaker and I'm sitting like this. And I'm like, dude. And I'm like, and I didn't say anything because I was like, I'm not talking about this. But I was like, bro, I can't hear you.
I swear internet is like a potato. It could have bundles or junk.
Exactly. And I was losing my mind the entire time. And he called me. He's bad. When you talk to a supervisor, they don't have a word-for-word comeback. Usually when you talk to somebody on the phone for customer service, they have a response, like a 3-step response. That's what they're going to say. Even though they're not a computer, they just follow a set rule. A supervisor doesn't have that. They talk. And so he's like, what's the problem? I'm like, I opened with this. This is flat out what I said. I'm like, part of my job is streaming. Your boy uses bitrate. Bitrate, I stream in 8,000 bitrate. 8,000 bitrate correlates to 8 megabits per second. I'm supposed to get 35 of them. And when it crashes to 2 megabits per second, your boy can't stream in 8,000 bitrate because that doesn't add up. It's simple fucking math. And he says, yeah, I get it. He said I would be mad too. And I was like, well, why am I paying for this shit if you're giving me that boot pack Wi-Fi from a fucking gas station? And I was like, I'm just saying, bro, I'm getting fucking mad. And I'm sitting there. I'm more calm talking to him because he's not giving me that bullshit response every fucking time. I understand your problem, sir. I completely relate. No, you don't. You don't. You're not. I'm like telling them. I'm like, I'm a streamer. This is what I do. I relate. No, you don't. Yes, you don't. And so I'm starting to get there. Like, you can say I feel bad for you. Like, if I'm in their scenario, I'm like, I get it. I would say like, yeah, I feel bad. But they're like, I can relate. No, you can't. No, you don't. You can't relate. Like I said, like unless you're like, oh hey, this is fucking XQC on the line. I can fucking relate to your problem. I'd be like, oh shit, what's up, man? Why are you working at Xfinity? You make fucking 15 grand a day. Anyway, I'm fucking sitting there, and he's like, we're gonna send a technician. And I flat out say, do not. I say it like this. Do not send me the same dude again. And they're like, why? And I was like, because like he's great, but he's gonna say the same shit to me. And he was like, what? And he was like, he's gonna test it. He's gonna tell me the average speed is 5, and then he's gonna put a ticket in me. And then the dude essentially said, well, the other guy's probably gonna do the same thing. That's what the supervisor said. The supervisors are 5-heads. They're like me. They're sitting there. They're like, oh, 5-heads. Like, they understand how people work. All right. They're not just a fucking wall talking pretense response. He's like, the supervisor's probably going to do the same damn thing. And I was like, okay, just send them. And they're like, fine. Now they're coming. I don't know. They're coming someday this week. And I swear to you, if they don't fucking fix my Wi-Fi, I start slinging fucking shit, dude. I will fucking lose my mind. Get sprint! You are bugging the fuck out of me. I'm getting sprint. Oh my god. Anyway, shit's fucking pissing me off the entire time. I'm on the phone. It was literally, I ended my shift 2 hours ago. I sat on the phone for that long. Like, I was on the phone fixing my Wi-Fi that entire time. The only time it got fixed, it was at 2 megabits per second until the supervisor, like, jammed Wi-Fi. They're like, they call it some bullshit. They're like, we're going to send some signal. And I'm like, okay. And then they just ramped the fuck out of your Wi-Fi to like 400% capacity. And then he's like, is it good now? And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, okay, we're fine. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I don't care. That's not the problem. The average speed isn't the problem. You already ruined my day. I didn't say it like that. I was like, my Wi-Fi already ruined my day. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I was supposed to already be streaming for the past 2.5 hours. Now I'm only going to be able to stream for like an hour and a half. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, so how do we fix this? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, how do we fix this from never crashing again? And he was like, I don't know. And he was like, it might be high traffic. That's why it crashes. And I went, no. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, that's not why it crashes. I was like, the technician that came to my house tells me, see, I'm learning here because I'll listen. I'll fucking listen. I hate talking to those people, but I'll listen. And he's like, I was like, the technician told me that high traffic is fucking 1993 fucking bullshit, and that you have 2 different nodes now for fucking Wi-Fi providers, and it doesn't matter how many people are on the fucking Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi should fucking work. And he's like, oh, you're right. And I was like, yeah, so fucking send the person to my house, and I swear to you, chat, if they send the person to my house, and 1 week from now, my Wi-Fi is still fucking shitting itself at certain points, I will have a hole through that wall and a hole through this monitor. But I probably aged 20 years. I probably aged fucking 20 years while I'm streaming around. I'm gonna fuck. I was so pissed. So pissed. It's been getting worse. The first time I called them was the time I was most mad. The second time I called them, I wasn't mad at all. The reason I wasn't mad the second time I called them was because I didn't start streaming. If my Wi-Fi crashes and I can't stream, I don't get mad. I get upset because I can't stream, but I don't get mad because I'm streaming. I get mad when I start my stream, and 5-10 minutes into my stream, I look to my bottom left at my left monitor, and I see 8,000 bitrate drop to 1,000 bitrate. That's when I know that your boy went from 1080p to 160p. And 160p looks like fucking roadblocks. And I didn't want to deal with that. Because
$5. Hopefully, make the game for $100. All right. Just press the button.
For $100, turn off this bomb before it explodes.
Breaking news. Racism still exists. We're changing the world. Difference with every Instagram post. Like us, subscribe.
oh, you fucker. No.
Hey guys, if you want to compete for the meme of the video, all you need to do is join the Discord. The link is in the description and submit your best memes in the channel. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Hey, out of my Puristiker! Klassiker! Ob du glaubst! Shoot.
so, Sean.
Okay.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. You've got multiple parts, but need just one answer.
Wait, how does these things work together?
Looks like you can just Google.
So the title of this post is, when I was 15, my mom demanded access to my Facebook account to write this post about herself. Thank you, Mom, for all you do for me. You have and always will be the most important person to us. Today, I appreciate you more now than ever, and we are so lucky to have you for a mom. You mean more to us than you'll ever know, and you're all we will ever need by our side. We love you so much. Hold your head high because you are our hero. How can you even feel good about doing this? Like, that's just depressing, man. Are you just pretending so everybody else thinks you guys have, like, a normal relationship? Or what's happening here? What's up, boys? You know, everybody's gotten their Xbox or their PlayStation or their phone taken before. You know, in those moments, you might be like, my dad is just insane. Have your parents ever sent you, like, 4 different long, hateful paragraphs because you forgot to make them a smoothie? Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going back to the subreddit r/insane parents and just checking out, well, you know, insane parents. I know you guys got some insane ones too, so please tell me in the comment section, because out of all of the stories I asked for in my comments, these are always the craziest. I don't know what's wrong with your guys' parents, but man, they are off the wall. Anyway, with that being said, enjoy the video, boys. Should I spank my child? A comprehensive flowchart. Are they old enough to understand reason? If yes, then use reason and stop hitting your child, asshole. If no, then they're not old enough to understand the reason you're striking them, so stop hitting your child, asshole. What a superficial view, lol. If it was that easy, no reasonable person would hit their child. Unfortunately, yeah, if you're reasonable, then you're not going to be hitting your child. So, I mean, you kind of got it. I guess. I'm home. Where's my package? Blank's got it. Okay. Did you open it? No. Did you want me to? It was open when I got it. Not me. Can you ask Blank? He left. Don't worry. I just spoke to him. He put it on the table and didn't open it either. Did Blank get to it? I'm slightly concerned that you don't want us to see what you are ordering, though. Neither of us opened it. It shouldn't be a big deal if we do. I'm not saying it is a big deal. I was just wondering who opened it. Hey, he literally says, don't worry. Like, he's like, all right, you know what? Whatever. It's not a big deal, I guess. And then his mom was like, oh, yeah? Well, why do you want to see what you're ordering? What are you ordering this? So it should be a big deal if somebody opened it, which I did not. I would never do that. Even if I did, which I didn't. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. You are grounded. You will not be going on Sunday to that movie. It's turned in. Ask teacher. I'm looking at the portal right now. Well, she hasn't put it in yet. I can't do anything about it. I gave it to her. It's definitely turned in. You better figure it out. It's already figured out. She has it. You better ask. Don't know what to tell you. Figure it out. I gave it to her. I can't do anything about it. I don't need to ask because she said she would grade it soon. You only see the portal. You don't know what happens in class. If you want, you can email teacher because I did it and turned it in. Okay. Do these parents just like trust this random website? If I was a parent and my kid was telling me he turned something in and it was showing that it wasn't turned in, maybe like first believe the kid, and then if my teacher tells me he didn't turn it in, then I would be like, okay, I got off the one that caused me the issues, which was Discord. Get off Instagram. I want you to delete it. Find another way to communicate with your friends. I can't. All I do on Instagram is talk to Blank and watch Reels. That's literally it. And there's no way I'm downloading TikTok. The algorithm is made to target young people and make them question themselves. Huh? Yeah, you don't realize it because you've been a part of it for so long. Why are so many parents like tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists about literally everything? Sometimes the algorithm just wants to show you videos of hats doing silly things. What are you guys talking about, man? Louis had a minor stroke. Not happy that anyone has that, but he's okay. Music to my ears. Oh man, I thought you said major. Stop. Karma, we don't want that. Him having the stroke was karma. I guess you forgot he screamed outside. He hoped I'd get... Oh, wow. He can rot in hell. I remember. Yeah, so, by the way, that guy that said it...
Well, that's the end of this live stream because I felt sick. So, yeah.